Hello. Today I'm going to talk about my individual project, which contains a CLI tool for my data set that I chose. It is urbanization data. So for this project, I used Rust. This is a Rust-based command line tool, which extracts, transforms, loads my urbanization data directly from interacting with my SQLite database, directly from my terminal, from my command line, which allows create, read, and update kind of querying and different ETL processes through my command line. This project is also set up for continuous integration and continuous development workflow through GitHub Actions. I'm going to walk through my project. Main features of my project is that it extracts the data, it downloads the data from provided URL link, which is a database, which are data sets on GitHub, and I chose data on urbanization. Then my project also has data transformation and loading feature, which is loading CSV data into a SQLite database. So let me show you that. When I go to my source, there are my database operations. I use Rust code. Here is me using a CSV reader builder. I use a dependency where I'm going to talk later. This is the request blocking, then a Rust Lite using parameters like connection and also standard error and open options and different dependencies that I'm going to walk through later. So I also have a logging for my data set, for my database operations that are stored right here. Here is my query log. Whenever I query my data, you can see it. So going back to my database operations. First, I declare my parameters that will hold my data. Then I extract my data from a URL. Here is a function for that. I use the URL and file path, and it will print in my command line if the data was extracted. So I print and then show my path file. And if it goes through, it will be okay. Then I load my data from the CSV file into a SQLite database through the function, public function load. Here I use the file path and use a connection that will open my database. And then through that, I'm going to check if this table already exists in my database, SQLite database. And if it does, it will drop the table and execute execute the creation of a new table into my database. Then it will read from the CSV to insert all my values into the database. So here I created an empty table with all my variables, and then I use the insert to insert my values into the database. And if data is loaded into my SQLite database, it will work. Then I log my queries, my SQL queries to a markdown file, as I said before. And if it did, it will show. Then I write my CRUD operations, which is creating, deleting a record, updating a record. So here you can see there is a create one where insert a certain thing that I can type in through my CLI. Here is an update function that I will use in my main file. Here is a delete and also reading all the data from the data set. As you can see, I walked you through my data transformation and loading through my DB transformation Rust file, and also it contains my CRUD operation files. But how they actually work is through my main file, which is also stored in the source file. Here is my main Rust file, which extracts the functions from my DBA operations and uses the Rust SQLite. Then I call my main function, where I actually write the file path and the connection to my database that I created. And if it doesn't open, it will return fail to open the database. And then I use extract through the link from the 538 database and use it as a file path. And then I call my load data operation. I code my create record operation, updating the data with some example here, which will update it, and then a delete record. This is also called from my main file. Then I use continuous integration, which is through GitHub Actions. This is my CI/CD pipeline. And it ensures that my code will run, that my formatting is good, and my linting is in place. To ensure the code style and quality, I use Clippy and Rust FMT. But to get started, you will need to have a setup. You will need your Rust file set up, and the SQLite for database operations, a Git version control, and GitHub CLI. But it's optional. So for installation, you will need to clone my database and ensure that you are in the file. Then you will need to install Rust, and also you can install the dependencies needed for this project. Where you can find the dependencies is in my cargo file, cargo toml. So here's a package that is used for my CLI that I used previously. And also we use dependencies, which is request dependency. Here's a version, and also Rust for SQL and CSV, as I said. So as you downloaded all the dependencies, you may start working. So to test the CI/CD pipeline, you can make extract, make load, and you will see that the file will automatically do that. So how you can see it from here, you may open a new terminal and try to run those operations. For example, make extract. So here, my process is compiling my package, and it says it's finished, and it's running target, and data has been extracted into a CSV file, as you can see. Then we can load the data. So you can see that all my files were loaded. Then we can use the make load. It starts it here. And you can see that the data was extracted to my data folder into the urbanization CSV file. Here, it worked. So if you want to add it and add add a record, you can use make update. And it will extract the data and update it. And also you can run all of them in sequence altogether using this. So also you can manually ask to do these operations. So here are my Makefile commands that can automate my tasks. So here's the Rust version, make lint. So if you want to see, I can use make lint to see if I have any, no, so you can see that I don't have any problems with my lint. We can run my test, which is make test. And it says test results are okay. And here's my test file. So I use Rust SQLite, I use my package urbanization RS, and then here's a test file for so setting up the database connection, the extraction of the data, for loading the CSV, test for my create record, test for my reading data record, for my updates that it actually worked, and for my delete. And I call it in my make. So here is my process for Rust versions, linting, testing, running with all my releases, and also my CRUD operations are stored in here. So it's continuously updated through this. So, and then where it's called is my CI/CD pipeline. So here are jobs to build my Ubuntu, and it uses these certain actions in toolchain. So here's I call my update Rust, and I check the version of the Rust if it works. Then my lint, my test, build, create, read, and so it ensures that everything runs smoothly. Also, I have my optimized binary automation for my Rust file to maximize the performance. So this binary is compiled in a release mode, incorporating various compilers optimizations that improve my runtime efficiency and reduce the file size. So how you can actually see, I added the build Rust release node, and here is my optimized files. Yes, I talked about the dependencies here. The dependencies that I used in this project is request. It uses my HTTP request to download the CSV dataset. It connects with SQLite database, where this is why I use SQLite, and also CSV for reading and parsing CSV. So To see how the actual tool of the Rust script that interacts with my SQL database, we will utilize some examples of CRUD operations. So for example, here, this project allows us to perform CRUD operations directly from the command line to manage CT information in the SQLite database. So here is an example of creating a database, creating a record. So we use cargo, run, create, and as you can see, it is the process is finished and it's running, and the data is extracted here, and it creates a new record. It takes some time, so here the record is added in here, Alabama, and all the records that we created. So we can also read all the data. It will take some time, but directly through the command line, we can cargo run and read all my data. The process is finished. The target package was directed to run. So it is extracting my data as you can see, it extracted the data. And then we can update a record. So for example, we are updating through the primary key here, which is our latitude track. So let's copy this to test. So directly we can see cargo run, update this record. The data is extracted from the file and it's running. So as you can see, this record has been updated. Then we can delete the record with this ID. So cargo run, delete the ID. So we are interacting with our data set using our primary key for our data. And the data has been deleted. Then I already explained my pipeline. I explained my ordinary, the use of ChatGPT here. Throughout this project, I used ChatGPT to troubleshoot issues related to my CI/CD, error handling, and also like to optimize my code. And it really helped me to address the creation of the optimized binary, Rust binary. And it helped me transform my Python code into a Rust code using syntax. When I was using this project, GitHub Copilot helped me a lot. It was instrumental when suggesting the code snippets, and then especially with repetitive patterns, and also helped me to clear my Rust syntax. And it helped me to handle errors proactively. So if you wish to contribute to my project, you can fork it and create a new branch like here and commit changes and push back to the origin. And I will look at the pull request that you may create. So it was my project breakdown. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.